Imagine waking up in a world where the sun is your only source of warmth. As daylight fades, the temperature begins to drop. Darkness spreads across the landscape. Strange sounds echo through the night, and every shadow could hide a predator. No campfires, no cooked meals, no comforting glow in the distance. Yet somehow, our ancestors survived in this unforgiving world for millions of years. The real question isn't how they lived without fire. It's how they lived long enough to discover it. The earliest human ancestors appeared long before anyone learned to control flames. For countless generations, they walked across forests and grasslands armed with little more than sharp stones, strong instincts, and an extraordinary ability to adapt. Unlike lions, they had no powerful claws. Unlike bears, they couldn't rely on thick fur. Compared to many predators, humans seemed surprisingly fragile. So what gave them a chance? One answer was cooperation. Long before villages or civilizations existed, survival depended on staying together. Alone, humans stood little chance against a hungry predator, but a group could watch in every direction, warn each other of danger, and protect the young. Living as a community became one of humanity's greatest evolutionary advantages. In many ways, teamwork became our first weapon. But danger didn't disappear when the sun went down. Night was terrifying. Large predators like saber-toothed cats, giant hyenas, and other carnivores often hunted under the cover of darkness. Without fire to keep them away, early humans likely sought safety in places that offered natural protection: rock shelters, caves, dense trees, or elevated ground where approaching animals were easier to detect. Sleep itself may have been lighter than ours today, with people waking frequently to unfamiliar sounds. Food presented another enormous challenge. Before cooking, every meal had to be eaten raw. Early humans gathered fruits, nuts, roots, seeds, insects, eggs, and whatever edible plants they could find. They also scavenged meat from animals that had already been killed by predators. Raw meat provided valuable calories, but it was tougher to chew, harder to digest, and carried a greater risk of disease. Their jaws were stronger, and they spent far more time chewing than modern humans ever do. This raises an interesting question. If raw food was so difficult to eat, why didn't humans simply evolve larger teeth and stronger jaws like other animals? The answer may lie in what happened after fire entered the story. Cooking softened food, released more calories, and reduced harmful bacteria. Over thousands of generations, our teeth became smaller, our digestive system changed, and our brains began demanding even more energy. Fire didn't just change dinner. It may have helped reshape the human body itself. But before that transformation, survival depended on another remarkable skill: observation. Early humans carefully watched the natural world. They learned which plants were safe and which were deadly. They followed migrating animals, recognized seasonal changes, and remembered the locations of water sources during dry periods. This knowledge wasn't written down. It was passed from one generation to the next through experience, imitation, and eventually language. Survival became less about strength and more about learning. Scientists still debate exactly when humans first controlled fire. There is evidence suggesting regular use hundreds of thousands of years ago, while some discoveries hint at even earlier dates. What seems clear is that humans probably encountered natural fires long before they learned to create them. Lightning strikes, volcanic eruptions, and wildfires would have left behind burning branches. Imagine carefully carrying one of those glowing pieces of wood, protecting it from wind and rain because losing it meant waiting for nature to provide another flame. In the beginning, humans may not have made fire. They may simply have kept it alive. Once fire became reliable, everything accelerated. Nights became safer. Food became easier to digest. Cold regions suddenly became habitable. Predators stayed farther away. People gathered around flames, sharing food, stories, and knowledge. Those evening conversations may have strengthened social bonds and even encouraged the development of language and culture. A simple flame became much more than a tool. It became the center of human life. Looking back, it's easy to assume fire created humanity, but the truth is almost the opposite. Humans survived millions of years without it because evolution had already given them something even more powerful: curiosity, cooperation, and the ability to learn from the world around them. Fire was not the beginning of human survival. It was the reward for generations of resilience. The next time you switch on a stove or sit beside a campfire, remember that every flame carries the legacy of countless ancestors who endured freezing nights, raw meals, and relentless danger, proving that long before humans mastered fire, they had already mastered the art of surviving.